Finding music for your videos can be tricky, and I guess more accurately, finding music that you are legally allowed to use in your videos can be tricky, especially if you're creating that work for a client or you run your own business. So I've made a few videos about royalty-free music in the past, but this one is a little bit different. In the past, I focused on how to get music for your videos personally, but if you're hired to create projects for clients and businesses, the process can sometimes be a little different, and that is where it's really important to understand the licensing behind whatever music you're using. So before going any further, this video is sponsored by Epidemic Sound, and if you know me, you know that I really don't do any sponsored content. In fact, this is like the first officially sponsored video that I've ever done, but I was so happy when Epidemic reached out and wanted to help support my channel because I've used their service for a long time and I really do like it and I really enjoy it. I personally have a creator subscription since most of what I create is for this personal channel of mine that you're watching right now, but there is a discount link in the description of this video for 30 days free of a business subscription, and that is what I want to talk about today, is the difference between a personal subscription and a business subscription. It really wasn't that long ago that the only option for licensing music for a smaller producer or creator was to purchase individual tracks, and that usually costs somewhere between like $100 and $300 per song, per individual song. The most important difference with the business subscription is it gives your business the license to use the music across all of your social media and video platforms, channels, and outlets, including podcasts, which is important since a lot of businesses are branching out into the world of podcasting, and also including boosted posts on social media. So if you put money towards like a Facebook ad to boost a post for your business, up to $1,000 worth of boosting, you can still use this business subscription. And that's where it gets a little tricky, so I wanted to break it down because since I've made my first video about royalty-free music, I've gotten a lot of questions about what to do if you're an individual versus a business and how to use these different songs legally. So let's start off by saying you are an independent creator or producer or freelancer and you do a lot of repeat work for the same client. That client or that business can sign up for it and then they just give you access to the account. You download the music and the sound effects through that account and use it in all of the projects you create for them. And then they can post it and share it across all their channels and not have any worry about receiving a copyright claim or a strike or any of those negative things you don't want to have happen to one of your clients. Now, if you own a business or you're part of a business with up to 50 employees and your business produces a lot of content, it might be smartest for you or your organization to sign up for a business subscription. And then whoever's making your content, whether it's an internal employee or like an external contractor, they can just have access to your account, download all the music, download all the sound effects, and then you can use it wherever you want to share it. Now, in addition to the large library of music, one of the best and probably underrated features of Epidemic is the fact that it lets you download stems for every song. This gives you control over how the song is mixed, and it even lets you remove entire instrument or vocal tracks. So this adds just a ton of flexibility to your editing, and it can totally save you if a client wants to use a specific song or you want to use a specific song, but you know that the vocals or one of the instrument tracks is gonna get in the way of the edit. So for example, when you go into Epidemic and you go through your songs, I like to just browse and kind of match usually moods, like laid back with a genre like, I don't know, pop. And then you kind of get your selection of songs. And you will notice that some of the songs, like this one right here, Building Chemistry, has an instrumental version and a non-instrumental version. So one with vocals, one without. That's really helpful if you just want to click on it, download the entire track, and then be good to go. But if you don't want to do that, then you can download stems, and those can be a huge lifesaver. That is how professional editors for movie and television work with their songs. Even if it's a very popular song that you know, when it's in the soundtrack to a movie, the editor has probably had access to the stems from that song so that they can mix it, remix it, equalize it. So for example, this is one of my favorite songs on Epidemic. I've used it in like a ton of videos, and I've heard it in a lot of other people's videos, but it's a good song. If I want to download it, I can download all of the stems, and then what I'm going to get in my downloads folder is literally just a folder, a zip file folder with all of the tracks in it. And once I open that up, then there's everything. This one has bass, drums, instruments, melody, and then the full song. So when you download the stems, you do still get the full song in that file, which makes things easier. And then basically when you're working with your stems, if you just stack them one on top of the other, the end result is just gonna be the full song. But if you wanna get rid of some things, so like the drums in this song, then I have the song without the drums. But if I want to get rid of that kind of like high-pitched sound, I can just mute that stem. So you can mix and match those in whatever way works best for the project. But here's where they even become better, is they avoid the whole issue of songs looping. So I think we've all seen and we've all made videos where there's that song playing in the background, and as soon as the song ends, the same song just starts again, and it's super distracting. So for example, this song that I'm using right here, if I take the full mix and I just have it end and then start, it just sort of pulls your viewer out of the experience, and it makes them aware that they're watching a video and someone edited it, and it's just distracting, and it's not what you want. You want someone to be fully immersed in the thing that they're watching. And so by using stems, it can actually be easier to kind of extend those songs to fit the space that you need it to. If it's ending, but I know that I need to loop it again, I could actually just play around with that drum track. So what if I just shortened the drum track, and then this sounds a little crazy, but then I can copy and paste all of these stems over here, and I can play with them individually. So for example, this instrument track here, this sort of has like the guitar and some piano in the back of it. So I can actually cut off the intro from the song and have this pick up right here. I can take the drum track and have it come in whenever I want now. And then the song just sort of starts again. And then these other stems right here, I can actually just take them and sort of move them over to have them come in whenever I want them to. So this might not be a total masterpiece, but you can sort of see how that's giving you a lot of flexibility. Think about a time in your video where maybe there's a lot of voice, and instead of just lowering the volume of the whole track, it's just helpful to eliminate entire instruments or entire vocals, have things kind of, maybe have no percussion or drums, and then when that's over, you can have the rhythm and the percussion come back into it, and the song just picks back up, and it's super seamless. It doesn't sound like a song is just stopping and looping over and over again. So that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg, but that ability to download individual stems for all of the tracks is a huge advantage of Epidemic sound. Now the big question you're gonna be asking, especially if you watch my last video where I compared Epidemic sound to Artlist, is how does this business subscription from Epidemic compare to Artlist's subscriptions? I love and use both services, so there's pros and cons to each. It kind of depends on your needs and the needs of your clients. So Artlist's licensing, like I talked about in the last video, is really nice because it's universal and it's perpetual. So once you sign up, you can use it however you want, as long as you'd like, whether or not you have an active account. You can't use it in podcasts though. That's something I found out. And the music on both Artlist and Epidemic is great, so you can't lose there. Epidemic does have a much larger library, which includes more than 30,000 different tracks and more than 60,000 different sound effects, which is an absolutely insane number of resources to have available to you. Especially, again, in that business world, just making sure every single thing is entirely royalty-free and okay to use on whatever platform is huge. You do not want to create something for your business or for a client that ends up getting them a copyright strike or a copyright claim. That's terrible. And in terms of pricing for these subscriptions, Artlist is $200 per year, and you do need to pay that $200 upfront right away for the full year. Epidemic's business subscription is $149 per month. There's no contract or anything. You can do as many months as you like. With Artlist, the songs you use are good in perpetuity forever, whether or not you have an active subscription. With Epidemic, you can only use the songs while you do have an active subscription. If you do close your account and you cancel it, the videos you made while you had an active subscription are totally safe and good to go, but you just can't use the music anymore if you don't have an active subscription. So ultimately, for anything that you create, if it goes beyond just something for fun in your own home, if it's going out into the world, whether it's your personal YouTube channel or for your business or for a client, it's really important that you understand the licensing behind whatever material you're using. And that's not only to protect your client or your business or your customer, but also to protect yourself and your channel and your work. And there is a promo code down in the description that lets you try out Epidemic's business subscription for 30 days, totally for free. So thank you again to Epidemic Sound for sponsoring this video. I really do appreciate it. And if you're interested in learning a bit more about how Epidemic's subscriptions stack up against other services, I've got that video for you right here, ready to go.